The gap between uploads has been disgustingly spacious, so thank you, loyal viewers, for your ongoing patience. This very video I've been requested to sculpture by Chad Cooper, Touring Guy, and a man of culture. Of course, if there's more info you wish to attain about a femme fatale from the show or the game, leave a little statement in the comments below and your request will be featured at the start of that video. Today we discussed the one with a fruit for a name, but a name that's quite royal if you're playing the right game. With a level of fan support seldomly seen, she made her debut back in 2017, and sure, her career has only just started, but there's plenty of knowledge just waiting to be imparted. Now the intro is done, and while the rhyming's been fun, you clicked on this link for the facts that it teaches, so enough of the delays. I'm delighted to say, here's 5 things that you didn't know about Peaches. Number 5. You are what you wear. We all love a good Easter egg in media, don't we? A cheeky little nod or reference hidden in plain sight that only sharp-eyed audience members would pick up on. Well, when it comes to the subject of this video, Peaches has an abundance of them. In fact, I have it on good authority that the Play One princess has so many Easter eggs, she even makes the Easter Bunny feel inadequate. Her ring attires alone are bursting at the seams with references to some of Peach's favourite video game franchises. So here's a closer look at a few of her most recognised attires.
Resident Peaches.
Some AWA fanatics will know that this attire was introduced in celebration of Peaches reaching 5,000 downloads on WWE 2K's community creations, evident by the 5K on her top, a feat she has managed in every game she's been available in, apart from 2K20, but that was, well, you know. To the surprise of nobody, this attire is based off survival horror juggernaut Resident Evil, specifically Resident Evil Outbreak on the PlayStation 2. The rapid swell of fan support on community creations was very much like an outbreak, but instead of the T virus from Resident Evil 1 or the G virus from Resident Evil 2, it would be called the P. Also, the scarab on Peach's chest is a reference to Jill Valentine, not related, who wore the same scarab in Resident Evil 5, granting Jill superhuman strength, speed and agility while it was being worn, inspiring Peaches whenever she looks down at the scarab to dig deep and push beyond her limits. While we're on the subject of Resident Evil, the red leather jacket Peaches sometimes wears to the ring is actually a replica of Claire Redfield's Let Me Live jacket from Resident Evil Code Veronica. A quick mention for the Santa's Little Gamer attire too. There's a cheeky little reference to the 5 gold rings Christmas Carol represented by the rings from Sonic the Hedgehog. Do you get it? And finally, the Pac-Man attire. This was actually Peach's first attire in AWA. People just assumed that, well, Pac-Man is one of the most recognised games in the world. Of course Peaches would like it, and while that is true, it's not the reason she debuted in it. To Peaches, Pac-Man is a snapshot of video games back in their infancy, an iconic pillar in the history of an ever-growing medium. Peaches chose to incorporate Pac-Man into her attire early in her career as an acknowledgement that her time in AWA had only just begun, conveying to her fans that she was building a solid foundation for her career to flourish from. Peaches is pretty self-aware, and in all honesty we're only really scratching the surface with ring attire Easter eggs and meanings. This video would probably end up being an hour long if I was to include them all, so let's take a deep breath and move on. Thinking about it, maybe this video should have been named Lots of Things You Didn't Know About Peaches, because that was a lot, and we're only on the first entry. Oh well, in for a power pellet, in for a cherry. Number 4.
Finish her.
I don't think you'll be too shocked when I tell you that it isn't just Peach's attires that adapt her favourite games. The names of her best moves are no different. May I turn your attention to Exhibit A. Peach's main finishing move is a double arm release STO known as the Sprite Slayer. A sprite in video game speak is the image of an object on screen that's not part of the background, including the very character you're playing as, like Mario or Mega Man. So to have your sprite slain, as the name implies, would be a pretty rough day at the office, I'm sure you'll agree. Next is the spinning wheel kick from the corner, which was Peach's original finishing move, but it's now used as more of a signature. Peach has named it the Peach Blossom, mirroring Princess Peach's special move in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Exhibit C, the Mega Driver, is Peach's version of a backslide driver. I'm sure most people know that the Sega Mega Drive, aka the Sega Genesis, is an early 90s console that spawned the gaming icon Sonic the Hedgehog. And finally, the GGT, a flipping destroyer-esque DDT. It's not a move she uses in every match, and is more preserved as an emergency-like finisher, only ever attempted on those rare occasions when even the Sprite Slayer isn't enough to put an opponent away. GG is a common shorthand for good game in online gaming, a phrase usually exchanged between two players at the conclusion of a battle, which, given it's one of Peach's finishing moves, is very appropriate. Also, on a side note, it's never been kicked out of, so I guess you could say it's super effective? Sorry. Number 3. Destined for more. Let's step away from the Easter eggs for now, meaning yes, there are more. I wasn't kidding about how many she has, dear viewer. You can scowl at me all you want, Easter Bunny. No, instead we're going to talk about Peach's activity in AWA, starting all the way back in the developmental brand New Blood. From the moment she first stepped through the curtain in AWA, the Player 1 Princess instantly connected with the audience and quickly found herself in a tournament to crown the first ever Destiny champion. If you watched the 5 Things You Didn't Know About Medusa video, you'll already be aware that Peaches did not win that tournament. She unfortunately lost a hard-fought match to Toxine in the quarterfinals, but proving even in defeat that she should absolutely be taken seriously as a top competitor in the ring. Undeterred by her loss, the gamer climbed her way up the rankings in the following months and earned the right to call herself the #1 contender to Medusa's Destiny Championship, punching her ticket to New Blood's Final Conflict pay-per-view main event. The two traded toe-curling bumps, near falls and finishes in a 30-minute gut check of a match. The Player 1 Princess became the Player 1 Queen of New Blood by hitting the GGT on Medusa, and 3 slaps of the mat later captured the Destiny Championship, to the joy of Peaches and the crowd. Unfortunately, Peach's reign as Destiny Champion was brief, as a few weeks after winning it, Peaches was moved up to the Mayhem wrestling show on YouTube and forced to relinquish the championship she'd worked so hard to attain, a circumstance that Peaches herself described as very bittersweet. In a heartwarming moment after Peach's final New Blood show, Bambi Lane, a rookie whom Peaches had formed a strong friendship with, joined the audience in applauding for the gamer's impending debut on Mayhem Wrestling. Number 2. Opening Cinematics. And finally, in our trilogy of Easter egg entries, it's time to cover Peach's various intro skits on the Mayhem show. From episodes 2 to 4, Peaches had a skit mashing elements from a few different games, being the Sonic CD title screen, the Select a Fighter menu from Mortal Kombat, which also includes the cursor sound effects from classic Resident Evil. From episodes 5 to 9, we saw the While Peaches Appeared skit, which should look instantly familiar to you if you've ever played a Pokemon game. The Easter egg here is the sound effect that's heard after Peaches appears. When you encounter a wild Pokemon in the games, each Pokemon lets out a unique cry. The cry that's heard from Peaches actually belongs to Raichu, one of her favourite Pokemon. And the most recent skit, seen from episode 10 up to, well, most likely episode 14, of course, is Resident Peaches. In this skit, Peaches takes a very limited tour of the Spencer Mansion, the setting for the original and remake of Resident Evil 1. When Peaches approaches the typewriter to save her file, as you do in the game when you want to save your progress, you'll notice that the previous save files are written in different colours, exactly like they are in the game. The different colours are used to distinguish the difficulty level of each save file. New Blood was written in pink, meaning an easy mode save file. Mayhem episodes 2 and 4 are written in white, which indicates normal difficulty. And of course, the save she made before her Vicious Vixen Championship match at Ruthless Rampage was in red text, which to the shock of nobody by now indicates a hard mode save file, where she overwrote her previous title attempt on episode 5 Apocalypse. I know it's a dumb detail that 0.1% of people will get, but it's a subtle way of telling Peach's journey so far through the medium of colours and flesh-eating zombies. Peaches usually has a new intro skit for every pay-per-view, so keep on the lookout for more Easter eggs. Great news for Peaches and her fans, but not so great for the AWA Mayhem video editor. Haha, unlucky. Oh wait, that's me. Moving on. Number 1. Pumpkins and Peaches. As we saw earlier, Peaches loves Christmas, but believe it or not, there's one holiday that she loves even more than Christmas, and no, it's not Easter, sorry again Easter Bunny, it is in fact Halloween. The one day of year it's perfectly acceptable to leave the house dressed as pretty much whatever you feel like just for fun, and Peaches is all about dressing up, being an avid video game and anime cosplayer. From the pumpkins to the costumes to the scary movies, the Player One princess adores every ghoulish trope of the holiday. When asked in an interview what her dream WWE pay-per-view to wrestle on would be, Peaches answered, not with WrestleMania or with SummerSlam, but with WCW's Halloween Havoc. No doubt Peaches is eagerly awaiting the pay-per-view following Worlds Collide, AWA Hellbound, a Halloween-themed show. Peaches is even hinting at getting some special horror film themed ring gear made for the show. A frightfully intriguing idea, indeed.
Oi, you out there? Yeah, you. This is Miss Nikki Nitro and you're watching AWA Mayhem Wrestling. You better like and subscribe, because if you don't, I'll make you respect me.